Hello, I'm Executive Chef Joseph Schutza. Welcome to our kitchen. Today I'd like to show you something critical in the kitchen, very helpful, and a money saver, making a good stock. So join me now and see how we'll make our chicken stock. Well, the first thing, begin with a whole wog. This one is particularly is a 3.5 pound bird from a farm in Pennsylvania named Bell & Evans. Truly an outstanding quality product. So first thing I like to do is I will remove the leg and thigh. So cutting down through the skin there, along the edge of the breast, down until you get close to the edge of the rib cage and the carcass here. Through that joint right there. And there you have your first leg and thigh. Now for the breast, what I like to do is I like to cut it into an airline chicken breast, what the industry calls it. An airline chicken breast is the breast that still has the skin attached to it and the first joint, the wing bone. So what we'll do is we start, let's turn it a little bit so you can see better, down the breastbone here. Follow that edge nice and gently and pulling along. We'll then take it to the back side. And then just follow down through along the bone, gently peeling the breast back from the bone. When you get to the bottom here, we'll cut through. Follow this here, this bone is the collarbone or the wishbone. Follow straight down that edge. You will then come on the inside of that joint, and we have our airline chicken breast with the tenderloin still attached. We're gonna save these for something later. Maybe stuffed chicken breast for that. What I could do is remove the tenderloin, make a mousse, and then stuff it. That's for another episode. So again, we'll remove our other breast. Kind of messed this one up when I took the leg and thigh off the other. I kind of cut through, but it's all right. So here we have our scraps for the stock, and the remaining we'll save for another time. So that's for breaking down the wog. Let's move on to the stock. In my pressure cooker, I have put all the carcasses and scrap pieces of chicken with about 3 gallons of water. I then want to add about 4 ounces of celery root, half a pound of carrot, and 1 pound of onion. I will then add some sea salt, maybe a tablespoon or so, and then I like to add my herbs. In this mixture I have what's called Bouquet Garni. Essentially it's just a bundle of herbs typically tied up with a string and dropped into your stocks or casseroles and then removed before eating. However, mine's just separated, no big deal. I plan to strain this through cheesecloth or a chinois, which is a fine mesh conical sieve. So in here I have some bay leaf that's busted up. I have whole garlic cloves. I have a peppercorn medley. I have thyme, savory, and sage. And then we add that. Well, now all of our ingredients and aromatics are added. I like to bring mine to a simmer or close to a simmer before adding the lid. I guess technically it may be faster if you put the lid on it, but when you have the chicken, making stock, there's a lot of times you get this foam that likes to build up, and I like to skim it before putting the cover on. When I do that, I find that I get a nice clearer and cleaner stock than with not skimming it. Also, I don't know if I mentioned or not, to help avoid that foaming, which it happens, but to minimize it, you want to always rinse your chicken very well, the parts, and you also want to use cold water. Colder the water, the better, and do it in a slow manner. Just a stove top in a pot, a stock pot, I would never bring it to a boil. I would keep it at about 185, 190 degrees and let it go for several hours, if not overnight. Overnight for something like a veal stock or a heartier stock, but chicken, it's too delicate, and you can get a good stock in a couple hours. But by using a pressure cooker, we are going to expedite that. Okay, now that I had the stock going for an hour and a half, I want to remove it. So because it's under pressure, we have to make certain that we release all the pressure. A few ways to do it is you could just simply pull the weight off of the hole, or I like to do it in a much faster way by running cold water over top of the lid. So what I'll do is this. As I start, and now the safety valve has gone down. We know we are at 0 pounds pressure. And it will be safe to open. Be careful with the steam. And here we have our stock. The smell is really, really nice, very aromatic, both with chicken as well as peppercorn, bay leaf, juniper berry. So I already have a bucket set up with a fine mesh sieve and cheesecloth. Just to make it a little faster, I'm taking a 4-cup measuring cup to ladle it out faster. Now, there's a couple other things we could do with this. One, we could do as I do most of the time, and that is transfer this into quart-sized containers and with lids and freeze them. Anytime we need chicken soup, it's just to simply pull it from the freezer, or you got it. Or I could take this and I can also reduce it and make it into a chicken gloss, which will become very gelatinous and thick. Okay. Well, there you have my chicken stock. With that, we yielded about 3 gallons or so, and some I already have set up for the freezer in quart-sized deli containers, leaving a gap at the top because as it freezes, it's going to expand. Agnes wants to have some chicken soup, so we got that for her, and then the rest of this will be leftover chicken soup for tomorrow. Pretty much the stock, or when I make stocks, they're almost the same when it comes to the technique. Duck, turkey would be the same as this. Fish stock, I typically do a little different. I wouldn't have anything like carrots in it or tomato or anything like that. It would keep with green or white vegetable only. And my Bouquet Garni. Sometimes I add a little white wine to it. And then that one I never ever boil. I would never do it in a pressure cooker. It gets out a little too cloudy. So that one I actually do stovetop and barely simmer 185 degrees or so, just barely bubble and take, you know, my time with it, just because I want the flavor. Veal stock, most of the time I roast the bones, not necessary, but if you do, you get a nice darker, richer, nice darker and robust flavor with your stock, adding tomato paste, things like that, which will be on future episodes. Well, I hope you enjoyed it and look forward to you making some stock. If you feel to, please leave some comments or questions, anything like that. And thank you for joining us. Yo,